Hello, wrestling fans. This is Sal Rough Cuts LaSardo reporting in with this weekend's edition of Rough Cuts. I've been getting a lot of messages on YouTube, my email, and Twitter about the recent WWE releases. My boss, Bill Apter, also had done a video as well, as you may well be aware recently. And so we're going to touch base. And then one of the big questions is, with all these releases, is Vince McMahon really going to sell the WWE? Is it possible? I will address that on this edition of Rough Cuts, so stay tuned for that coming up right now. Please be advised, these are my opinions only. They're not affiliated with Bill Apter or any wrestling promotion, including the WWE or the recent events that have happened. As far as the names right now, Braun Strowman was gone, Ruby Riott was recently released, Lana was recently released, Buddy Murphy was recently released, to name a few, and Aleister Black. Buddy Murphy was involved in the storyline with the Mysterios, and then it completely fills it out. Oh, Buddy's in the background too, just so you know. Buddy, come on, Buddy. Um, and as I said in one of my prior editions of Rough Cuts, he was one of the more underutilized performers. He's very talented. Alexa Bliss did send a tweet. Remember, they were engaged and together for a number of years when Alexa started, and they were together in NXT. And he had a nice run on the main roster, and then got caught with this Mysterio situation, and they dropped it. And then he really just went into wrestling purgatory. My gut feeling is I believe that Buddy Murphy may head back to Australia, where he's from. I think that's where he will go. Maybe Ring of Honor. I do not see him going to Impact or AEW. I think either he goes back overseas or to the indie scene or Ring of Honor when they restart. Maybe like New Japan would be beneficial. I'm disappointed Aleister Black was let go, and a lot of people's question does it have to do with his wife or what the deal was. Aleister Black was just starting to get another run with this new character into his dark childhood type of thing. And he had an amazing run in NXT. He really developed. He wasn't really given a fair chance when called up. He really wasn't. I don't know if this has to do with his wife or not. I don't think so. They weren't on screen together. Everybody knew they're married. But needless to say, Aleister Black just did not get a fair deal by the WWE. And I had said back on Twitter a few times that I feel that Aleister Black would be the perfect leader of the Dark Order in AEW. I think they're looking for somebody to replace the late John Huber, Luke Harper in the WWE. I think he'd be a perfect fit for it. I think he would do an amazing job in that role. I don't think there's any disagreement there. I think he'd be more than fabulous, and I would hope that AEW would sign him and that he joins the Dark Order. And I think it'd be a perfect fit. He hasn't been utilized as well as he should. He's very talented and very gifted. His mic skills, his in-ring ability, he's got that darkness to his character. I would really like to see him join the Dark Order, and I really believe he can really elevate it a lot further. It was very shocking and disappointing to see him go. And I say on a prior Rough Cuts as well, very underutilized performer and no reason for it. He should have been given a better chance. Lana was let go. I'm not surprised, even though it was kind of that she was being reassured or something that her character was in development. She was teaming up and trying to do a thing. I don't think she's gonna wrestle in AEW when she gets there. I think it's a foregone conclusion she will end up there because her husband Miro, also known as Rusev, is the champ. I think she'll just be in his corner and interfere and help him out. But I do not think that we're going to see her totally in the ring, although she has improved a bit in the ring. But I think she'll just be more by his side and ensuring that he doesn't lose the title when that time comes because he's a heel. So that's what I think. Lana will end up by her husband's side, and I don't think there's any reason or any doubt in that. I heard some amazing stories about Ruby Riott and the women's locker room and all the wonderful things that she has done, and for sending flowers and birthday parties and cards and everything. She is a veteran leader. She's a veteran too. I mean, she was known as the Lovelace character on the indie scene. She had some incredible, following, incredible matches. Her friends and foes alike had really came out in support of her. I know she's forever grateful with the WWE. We were blessed with her. They had the Riot Squad, a great facet, broke it up. Now they brought it back, and then I thought they were going to get the titles, and now they don't get the titles because now they broke it off on her. I I think the women's division is getting a little bit more, a little crowded right now in AEW, especially since the Iconics, I believe, Billy Kay and Cassie, will likely sign. I think their goal, it's just us. That's the tag team I have for them with Cassie and Billy. It's just us would be a perfect tag team name for them, and I think they're going to get signed by Tony Khan. Ruby, yeah, I mean, you've got to ask yourself: are they going to sign all these WWE, former players, and it's going to turn it? I, it's only Tony knows. Tony's got 3 shows coming. I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't think she's going to end up at AEW. I think she's going to end up in Impact with Mickey James. Mickey James is, I think, going to go there, and I think she will end up in Impact. And I think it'll be fine to do the Lovelace character. There's a lot of women out in the Indies over in Impact. I know it's not as nationwide as AEW is becoming right now as a brand, but I think Ruby will end up in Impact. I think especially if Tony ends up signing Billy and Cassie, there's only so many women you can sign, and there's only so much that you can do because their roster is starting to get loaded now. Remember, and you have to make sure you give TV time to all these performers. But it's a travesty with Ruby. But to hear all the wonderful things about Sasha and Bailey and everybody coming out saying about her, I wish her nothing but the best. She was very incredible and fun to watch. I love the Riot Squad. It leaves Liv Morgan in limbo right now. Is Liv Morgan going to be next to go? I think it's possible. I really think it's possible. I think what's going to happen with this, and I'll say this to the fans, and I tweeted it a little bit. I think what's going to happen is I think that the WWE is going to finally at some point shelve the women's tag team titles, and we're just going to have the women's singles. And I think at some point there'll be a unification. Whoever the 2 champions are between the 2 brands, I think they're going to get it down to maybe 10 or 12 women, eight to 10, maybe no more than 12, with Becky coming back, and that's what it's going to be. And it's just going to be one shot for the title, and it'll be more gimmicky than anything else, and it'll just be them going between the 2 brands. I think that's what's going to happen. You have Rhea, Bianca, Sasha, Bailey, Becky coming back, and you'll have Alexa Bliss is still involved, and you'll have a few others along the way. But you'll have maybe no more than 10 women. There won't be a tag team titles. It'll be gone. Before this year's over with, maybe sooner, the women's tag team titles in the WWE completely shelved. And by next WrestleMania, it'll just be a unification. And I think that's where they're going. They're continuing to downsize and do releases, and I think that's going to happen at some point. And I could feel for the talent. I really do. And I feel for it, but when one door closes, one should open up someplace, and I do expect that we'll see Ruby likely in Impact. I don't think Tony Khan will bring her aboard. I'm not saying he shouldn't. I just don't think it's going to happen if he's going to sign Billy and Cassie at some point. Remember, Chelsea Green is out there as well. There are a few ladies out there that that deserve a shot as well, and got to find homes for them between the promotions. Braun Strowman, I've been asked about. I think Braun takes some time off, obviously the 90 days as well with these recent performers. They just signed, Andre just appeared this past Wednesday. Mark Henry's been signed. Paul White is down there. Now you bring in Braun Strowman? I don't think so. I honestly don't think so. No. My final answer is no. I do not think we'll see Braun. I think what we'll see is that I think he goes to Impact. I think he'll be a better fit for Impact. They need a big man like him in Impact, and I think that's where he goes. I think he ends up in Impact. There's just too many big men right now, and you can't dilute it with a roster full of former WWE personnel. Look, they're talented, they deserve it, but you also have to remember AEW still has to have an identity themselves. And yes, these performers are very gifted. They deserve another shot. They deserve to be able to shine. But you can't just bring in everybody that's rich. You have to have a balance. And I think Impact has to be able to get some of these people as well. And I think Braun will go. I think Braun and Ruby will end up in Impact. Lana will end up with on her side by side with Miro. And Alistair Black, I think, will be a nice addition to maybe join the Dark Order. Andre's already there. Mark Henry's already here. Remember, the former Iconics, Peyton and Billy Kay, are free almost in another month. I think they're going to get signed no matter what. I just see it happening. Buddy Murphy, I think, goes back to Australia or to the Indie scene, or maybe he even goes to Impact as well. He'd be a good fit for Impact because he can go wrestle in the cruiserweight type division. He'd be a perfect fit for that. So that's where I think these guys are going to go. I'll take the last couple minutes. Does this mean that Vince McMahon could be selling the WWE? I've been getting asked this a lot. I think that we're going to, first of all, we're going to continue to see more people released. Even though they had one of the more profitable years, I mean, it's what I've read. But I do believe, look, WrestleMania is in Dallas next year. Then the year after they go to LA, they're going to look for the big payoff, which with Roman and The Rock. I think Roman and Cena is going to happen this summer at SummerSlam. It's been kind of teased. I think we'll see that one. And then maybe we get Brock and Roman at WrestleMania next year. And then maybe the year after we finish it with that. I honestly think that with Vince's age and look, I think it's going to get sold. I'm going to give the WWE that Vince is going to get out and sell it within the next, by 2023, 2024, it's going to be sold. I think that Raw will disappear at some point off the USA Network. SmackDown will stay put or get moved. And I think NBC, since it's streaming on NBC, I think NBC will then buy the product, maybe move SmackDown over, possibly. There's a possibility. I don't know what the agreement is with Fox, or maybe Fox and NBC get an agreement and they buy the WWE in the library. I think NXT will stay as a separate entity with Triple H running the show. I think because that's his baby. I don't think NXT will go anywhere, so there'll be a separate brand altogether on Tuesdays. But the main roster itself, I could see Vince selling Raw and SmackDown and the talent and finally getting out. And I could see it happening by 2023, 2024. I think it's going to happen. Yes, I think that it'll be NBC, Fox, a group together will join together at some point and take it all together and create their own vision of what they feel. I don't think WrestleMania or things will go away, but I don't think it'll be a McMahon product. It'll be a vision of the future and a different direction of where they're going. And only time will tell. But I think Vince is going to want the final major payoffs for Roman Reigns, Becky Lynch, Charlotte, those type of guys. But I do expect more casualties, more releases. Quite possibly, maybe Bray Wyatt, Elias could be going, Baron Corbin, the Mysterios, AJ Styles retiring. Where is Daniel Bryan? The women, Dana Brooke, Mandy Rose. I could see a handful, another 5 or 6, 7 more releases. I think he's just going to get it to a point where it's just going to get set up for the next 2 more years. That's what I see. So, yeah, to answer your question, yes, I do believe that the WWE is now going to place themselves in a position where they continue to turn a profit by continuing to release and so that they can sell it. And I believe that NXT will not be touched. I think Triple H, that's his product, that's his baby. It will stay its own entity on USA. They will have their own couple of pay-per-views per year, and the rest of it will be a different entity altogether through NBC, Fox, and those that get released. You've got AEW, you've got Impact, you've got New Japan, you've got Ring of Honor. This talent will get picked up. Tony will only sign so many. Impact will sign. Interesting to see what they do with New Japan and Ring of Honor as well. I don't see a full merger with New Japan and WWE. I know people ask, well, that's not going to happen. You can forget it. It ain't going to happen. They may work together, but you have to understand there's a lot of AEW and Impact wrestlers that are going back and forth with New Japan and the promotion. I do not see this merger happening as long as Vince McMahon is in charge of the WWE, maybe after it's sold off. So forget that for the foreseeable future. So with that being said, just remember that jobs are not safe. No job is safe. Just because you have a job today does not mean it's there tomorrow. There's no contract that is guaranteed at all. Nothing is guaranteed. Tomorrow is promised to no one. I'm not even promised that I can do rough cuts next week. I have to ask Bill. So nothing is guaranteed. And I feel for all these performers. To everybody that's been released recently and prior, you have my support. You have done a tremendous service to entertaining the fans each and every week. I hope to see you appear wherever that may be, whatever promotion that calls. Looking forward to seeing what you will do and how you will entertain the wrestling fan. And we will follow and enjoy you, Ruby, Alistair, Lana, Buddy, Ron, the Iconics, Billy and Cassie. Andre's already there in AEW, Mark Henry, Paul White, so on and so forth. It's not the end, it's just the beginning, and it's just now a new chapter for these performers. And give them the support as people. And then whatever character that they go heel or face is one thing, but as people, let's give them our support. Let's send positive vibes to them on Twitter, on social media. Let's not bash them or anything. They have nothing to do with this. Boo the character, but cheer the person that created the character and give them our love and support and know that we are behind them 110% and that we do wish them well. And we look forward to seeing them appear on camera again real soon so that we can either cheer and boo and so that we can be entertained by them because they are very talented performers and someone will sign them. So, for this edition of Rough Cuts, this weekend edition, this has been Sal LaSardo. May all your matches be your main event. Buddy's right here next to me. I'll be back next week with another edition. Have a good one.